all the trees have been devastated by the beetles.
7,100 acres burned and 300 more homes evacuated tonight because of the 416 wildfire.
My name is Sarah Sturm. I live in Durango, Colorado, and I am a professional off-road cyclist and a graphic designer. Durango is this little town in southwest Colorado. I moved here to go to school, and I just fell in love with the outdoors. Cycling was kind of my way in. So we're starting lower Hermosa, and then this is like the massive burn scar. The reason I like bike packing, there's this component of slowing down, and you have to stop and camp and be a part of your natural surrounding. And so this trip, instead of choosing the most beautiful views or the gnarliest route, our goal was to show the effects of beetle kill in an area and ride through a burn zone, all of the mixture of the effects of global warming and how that changes the experience of riding a mountain bike.
As long as it doesn't rain or snow on us, I think we'll be pretty good. I can figure out how to get this from flopping around.
I'm Evan Green. I'm a mountain biker, an adventure photographer and filmmaker, and a geologist.
I do have a bike computer. It's like an whole sketch, but...
My name is Dillon Osleger. I'm a scientist, a trail builder, and a professional mountain biker.
It's so...
Now you gotta have your red flag off the back. The bike Jenga.
I know. We decided to go on this trip here to show where Durango's at now, but then also what is coming. And so it's this ominous foreshadowing of our future. It's a pretty heavy feeling.
Water? 2 minutes to make that last batch. I don't know if we have time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute.
That was crazy. It really was like 2 seconds.
If geology and general science taught me anything, it's that you only truly understand a place where it is in a point in time if you look to the future and you look to the past and you gain perspective.
Packed up camp and heading out for the day. We are currently right off the top of Wolf Creek Pass here and in a pretty massive beetle kill area.
So when you go into this tree, you can see in like these little nooks and crannies right here. So that is mountain pine beetle. And when you look closer, you'll see on the bore holes, the tree tries to exude sap to kind of push away the pine beetles.
It's crazy. I've never actually stopped to look at this.
This tree's entire circulatory system and digestive system have just been shut down. I mean, it's just dying by lack of nutrients.
The catch is with these beetles that they have much shorter generation spans than trees do. They evolve much more rapidly. So when you have things change, like climate, the beetle learns to adapt to that much more rapidly than a tree can adapt its defenses. Usually, if the tree can keep the beetle from getting into its interior using its sap, then early fall frosts and a hard winter will kill a very large percentage of those beetles. Climate change has done twofold. A, it has reduced the water content, making the trees drier and drought-starved, so they cannot produce as much sap. They're not as healthy to fight off pine beetle. There also aren't early season frosts, and winters aren't as cold and long, meaning that the beetles reproduce and kill trees at much higher rates. In the last decade, the amount of trees that beetles kill annually has increased about 5 times. That all adds up to producing a whole lot of dry timber, and with the North American playbook of fire suppression, that leads to high intensity fires instead of low intensity fires. You actually see far more trees that weren't even impacted by pine beetle killed in those fires. And then you see soil impact and wetland impact and then human impact where you have fires impacting homes and communities. I don't want to make it seem like the problem is the beetles or the trees. It's kind of us.
Hi. This whole time. This whole coral reef. Look at this boy.
We're in the sea.
But this is like one day in time when you had like some seismic event or some reason that like a landslide happened. It's like you go over how many million years in like 3 seconds on a bike. And this is no different than a fire event or an earthquake nowadays. It's just a few 100 million years down the line.
The only reason that this trail is clear is because it's multi-use, so there's a ton of moto, but like in early season, there's hundreds of trees down on this trail.
The San Juans have been impacted pretty heavily by wildfires, and we're seeing those burn zones and those scars and the impacts that not only has visually, but on the whole ecosystem.
We see all this, and like we just finished a trip in Durango, and we know it's coming.
Yeah.
There will be a forest fire here, a massive one.
They are so lucky there are no homes here.
It hasn't been until the last decade that I really have felt the threat of all of this coming down. Not only as an athlete or a trail user, but as someone who lives in a small mountain town. I mean, this shit's getting real.
Nearly 600 homes have been burned, making it Colorado's most destructive wildfire in just a matter of hours.
Coming here to ride bikes and see beetle kill wasn't really about seeing the issues that Colorado's facing, but to see the future for the rest of us in the Rockies and on the West Coast. It's important to recognize that we are and we aren't beyond the point of a silent spring.
We really seem to have the world in our hand at this moment.
We get to choose whether we make transformations that we can live with or become transformed by the world itself in accordance with the damage that we've done to it.
It's one thing for me to personally be interested in solar power and recycling and riding my bike to the grocery store, but when you look at the bigger picture, you realize that it is just sort of a drop in the ocean.
Changing my carbon emissions from 16 tons to 12 really doesn't make an impact. That's playing with addition, but when you start working on a political level, on a systemic level, you change that and you're working with multiplication. The solution itself is less about being an individual, but about being part of something larger.
Through this trip, I guess I've realized that my role within everything, like I can make a difference and change. It starts with local politics, making things happen in your local area, protecting areas, building new trails. Action at a local level can make a huge difference.
It's not a this side or that side issue. This is a worldwide humanity issue, and we need to take action together for a better future.